a love story.
That hasn't been seen in southern Britain for 200 years.
We're waiting for the pitter-patter of tiny talons as CJ7 the osprey finally finds her mate. No. And now we stay in Poole Harbour, Aunt Janet. Yes, it is time to stop, take a breath and prepare for a bit of a love story.
Oh, this is the tale of an osprey called CJ7, upon whose feathery shoulders rested the hopes of environmentalists hoping to breed these beautiful birds on the south coast for the first time in 200 years.
Catchy name, but as Simon Marks reports, the course of true love never did run smoothly.
In the foyer at Lighthouse, the Centre for the Arts in Poole, is a sculpture of an osprey created by the artist Paul Green. It was commissioned last year as a tribute to a living osprey known as CJ7, who at that time was sitting on her nest in Poole Harbour, waiting for a mate who never arrived. But this is really a story that starts 200 years ago. Ospreys are migratory birds, spending the winter somewhere warm, like Africa, and in the spring returning to breed in whatever place they consider home. Once there were nests right across the United Kingdom, but in the 19th century the birds were persecuted by humans.
Ospreys are completely reliant on returning back to where they were raised themselves as a chick. When you wipe a population out from those areas, you know, they have nothing to come home to. And so, yeah, about 180 years ago, they became completely absent, made extinct from most of Western Europe.
100 years went by. Then, by pure chance, a pair of ospreys on their way to Scandinavia stopped and nested in Scotland, forming a new colony. And in 1966, Blue Peter paid them a visit.
As he swoops down towards his prey, he seems to make the loch his kingdom. With lightning speed, he snatches a fish in his long, sharp, curved talons, and shaking the water from his plumage, soars into the air, up to the branch again, ready to begin his feast.
With support from conservation groups, the Scottish osprey population grew. There were still none in the south, but Poole Harbour had obvious potential.
When these birds from Scotland and from the Midlands of England are flying south, they stop off in Poole Harbour to feed. It's like a massive bird table. These are birds that only eat fish, and Poole Harbour is stuffed with grey mullet, and this is what these birds are mostly feeding on, grey mullet.
Dummy birds were placed in trees in the hope that they would encourage visiting ospreys to stay. That didn't work. So, in 2017, a translocation project began in which 60 juvenile birds were moved to Dorset.
One's gone, one's gone!
We're just keeping everything crossed now for all the birds. They have a safe and happy first flight.
The ospreys, the ones we've just raised and released, them kind of map out and connect to Poole Harbour, and they then think that this is home.
Then a stroke of luck.
A female osprey, a female called CJ7. Now, she was from a wild nest at Rutland Water. Completely by chance, she just happened to be migrating through Poole Harbour at the time, as we'd just released our chicks. And they're very maternal. When a female osprey sees young chicks in an area, they instantly think, well, this is a great place to breed. I might come back here.
And she did. The following year, CJ7 bonded with a visiting male. But it was too late in the season. The birds migrated without breeding. And fate was not on their side.
In 2020, she came back, but he didn't. During lockdown, we had a whole following for CJ7, people watching the webcam every day, waiting and watching and hoping that a mate would turn up, and they never did.
But CJ7 wasn't beaten. This year she's back, still hoping for a mate. She's already laid 5 unfertilised eggs, all of which have been taken by other birds. Then, bingo. A different young male appeared, one of the chicks they released in 2017. And he decided to make a live appearance.
Good morning.
Just while Paul was talking to Chris Packham and Megan McCubbin.
Oh, we have her live.
Hold on, Paul,
She
before
has
you start,
returned.
she's just turned up on the
Let's
nest
have a look.
platform.
There she is.
Oh, wow, what about
Perfect,
that?
just on cue. It never... Oh, no!
Oh, yes!
Oh my word! I don't need to explain anything.
That hasn't been seen in southern Britain for 200 years. And a couple of people have said, come on, you must have planned that. And I swear to God we didn't. It just happened at exactly the right time. And it was magic. Pure, I'd say probably one of the highlights of my career, actually. It was just that perfect.
Oh, yes!
If CJ7 now lays another egg, we could see a chick born in Poole Harbour within weeks. All eyes are on the webcam. Simon Marks, BBC South Today.
Extended highlights after the watershed, of course. But seriously, if there is the pitter-patter of tiny talons, we'll be sure to bring you all the news. Now, as you can see, Alexis is here. Alexis, it's great to see such beautiful birds thriving, isn't it?
It is, and in our patch, Tom, how amazing is that? We can watch them on the webcam.
We will indeed.